Hello everyone and welcome back to One Arm Robber. Today's video is another Loud Heist guide, and the heist that we're taking on today is the Rodman Research Facility. And just like my previous Loud Heist guides, I'm going to show you two different methods to complete this heist loud. Those methods being the standard way, where we break the power boxes, and the advanced method where we don't have to. Now a little bit of recon before we start. The Rodman Research Facility has 3 points of entry that we can enter from. The first one being if we go past the main entrance, and we go right behind this guard and we take him out. We can then take our drill and go into the side door over here and drill it so we can get access to the first floor of the facility. The second point of entry we can enter from, if we go right behind this guard and we walk right behind him and we have a hacking device, what we can do is go to the edge of this building, and after he turns, we can go around this corner, take out our hacking device, and hack this door as fast as we can to get access outside the laboratory door. And the third and final entry point that we can enter from, if we take an immediate left from the truck and we start bunny hopping our way through the forest, we can actually enter the gate down here to enter the facility. Then once we go through the gate, all we need to do is deal with one guard, and then all we gotta do is just duck underneath the garage door, and then we're in the facility. Now the main reason I don't consider the front door an entry point is because it's got an alarm on it, and it's also power locked, so even if we drill open the door, the cops will get alerted and we won't have access to the main lobby. Now to make note of the location of the power boxes. The first one can be found outside, right next to the front door, along the wall over here. The second power box can be found outside the laboratory, right on this wall, right over here. And the third and final power box can be found in this little warehouse over here, that's connected to the main facility. And the loadout that we'll be using for the standard method is going to look something like this. For weapons, I'm going to be using the XN1070 and the UP99, and the only tool that we'll actually need is the angle grinder. When first with the standard method, we're going to grab our kit, take one duffel bag, chuck it over near the main entrance for later use, then grab another duffel bag with our angle grinder in it. And after that, we're going to head towards the first power box, which is near the front door. Once we get over here, we're going to break the glass, which should trigger the alarm so we can get access to the first power box. And then the place I like to post up is right in this corner over here, so all we gotta deal with is the people on our right and the people right in front of us. You know, it's kind of weird. Where did these cops come from? They're not showing up in like a van. They're just coming from the woods and all that stuff. Now, after we destroy the first power box, we're gonna grab our duffel bag and we're gonna jump all the way down here to the front gate. Once you enter the front gate, take a right, and we're gonna duck down and go through the garage door down here. Now, once we're in here, our next step is to take a right, and the next power box is right outside the laboratory. We're gonna start this, and our only place that they should be coming from is right over here that we came through. They also might come over from the front door, so make sure that you're posted up right here and watching both entrances. Now while we're fighting in this area, be careful of the single civilian that's in the room to our right over here in the main hall. After we destroy the second power box, the third and final power box is over here in the small garage area. And the place we'll post up is crouched down behind these boxes so we can cover both entrances. And after we destroy the third and final power box, we're gonna go back to our drill, and now we're gonna drill open all these doors to get access to the beakers. So in the main hall, there's 6 doors that we must drill into, and while you're drilling, you must defend yourself from the cops that show up. And after we drill those 6 doors, there's 2 doors that we must drill to get access to beakers in the side hall. And once we have access to them, all we're gonna do is grab the beakers inside the side hall and chuck them near the laboratory. Once they're in the laboratory, what I recommend doing is grabbing your duffel bag and going inside and looting up all the beakers to make it easier access. Just make sure that you're also covering yourself from the cops. Nice backflip, bro. I give you a 10 for creativity, but I give you a 3 on the landing. And once we grabbed all the beakers from the main lobby and placed it inside our duffel bag, we're gonna take this duffel bag to the laboratory. Now before we change these beakers from blue to pink, what I recommend doing is going back to the front of the facility and grabbing that duffel bag that we chucked over earlier. Once we have that duffel bag, we're gonna bring it back to the laboratory to make transporting a little bit easier. And once we're back in the laboratory, what we're gonna do is take the beakers and place them in the centrifuges, turning them from blue to pink. While you're doing this though, make sure that you're covering yourself from all the cops that show up. We got a ragdoll! Oh no, I shot my duffel bag at that guy. I didn't mean to do that. And once we change the last beaker from blue to pink, we can do the one bag method to bring all the loot back to the truck. So grab the first bag like normal, hit escape, let go of left click, hit escape again, and then grab the second bag like normal, come over here to this table, and we'll hop over it. Once we do that, all the beakers should be in one bag, and we can go back to the truck. And simply we're gonna go out the front door, and then it's just a straight shot back to the truck. And once we get back to the truck, our total take is going to be $177,000. We'll end the heist, and this was the standard method of how to loot the Rodman Research Facility, the Loud Guide. And now moving on to the advanced method, and the loadout's going to look something like this. For weapons, I'm going to be using the MS-950 shotgun and the UP99 suppressed. And the only tool that we'll actually need is the concrete breaker. When we first start the advanced method, we're gonna grab our kit, grab our drill, then from the truck we're gonna take an immediate left, and then we're gonna start bunny hopping through the forest until we get to the gate down here. Now be very careful, there is a guard on our immediate right, so use the trees as cover to break his line of sight. Once we get down to the gate though, we're gonna keep bunny hopping all the way over to the shipping container right behind this guard over here. And once we get behind this guard, we're gonna wait a little bit until this guard moves, and after he moves, we're gonna sneak in right behind him, crouch down underneath this door, and head over to this guard, and before we turn the corner, we need to wait until this guard moves, and this camera turns. So once this guard moves, the camera should turn very shortly. We're gonna take our drill, go into the break room, take our drill open the security room door. The guard from earlier that we saw should get alerted. We're gonna hide inside the security room, wait until the question mark stands still, and after it does, we're gonna take out this guard, grab his phone, wait for the question mark to turn around, and then do the check-in. Now after we do that, we're gonna grab our drill and head upstairs. Once upstairs, the first door that we're gonna take care of is the door to the server room, which should alert the guard downstairs. And after we do the first server room door, we're gonna do this office door. And after we do this office door, we're gonna hide inside here and wait for the guard that got alerted to return back to his post. So once the guard returns back to his post, we're gonna open the door to the server room, and the guard that's in here should be on the left side, and we're gonna wait for him to move. Once the guard moves, stay on his left side. He should turn, we'll flip the switch to the alarm, and now we're gonna wait behind him until he moves again. Once he starts moving, we're gonna hide right behind this door, and we're gonna wait for him to move yet again. Once he moves, we're gonna go out here, close the door right behind us. We're gonna take our drill, and we're gonna drill open the office door to get access to the vault key card. Now be very careful, what we're gonna do is go inside here, we're gonna hide behind this desk, because the guard from the server room should get alerted, and we're gonna wait for this guard to return back to his post. Once he returns back to his post, we're gonna grab the laboratory key card, we're gonna head straight downstairs. Make note of where these guards are. If the guard is over here, what we're gonna do is take out this guard first. We're gonna grab his phone, do the check-in, and then we're gonna grab this guard's body and drag it into the security room. Once it's inside the security room, we're gonna close the door to the break room, and then we're gonna grab the laboratory key card, and we're gonna unlock the laboratory. Now after we open up the laboratory, we're gonna take control of the main hall, so we're gonna take out the guard by the front door and zip tie the civilian, and after we do that, we're gonna grab the guard's phone and do the check-in on the wall. Now after we do that, our next step is to move the civilian and move the guard's body into the laboratory. You'll see why we do this later. And after we get both of them over here into the corner, our next step is to go upstairs and grab our drill. And once we have our drill, our next step is to drill all these doors open as fast as we can. Now be very careful, the guard from upstairs should get alerted first, so we need to be quick with these closed doors so we can get the far doors. But if he comes down quicker than normal, what we're gonna do is just wait until he goes back to his post before we start drilling again. Now when you're drilling open these doors, the two doors that you have to worry about are the two closest to the front door, because outside the front door is a guard that's patrolling back and forth, and sometimes he might hear you drilling. If that's the case, all you gotta do is just open up the door, wait inside, wait for him to pass by, and after he passes by, just hide behind this door, wait for him to do his check-in, and return back to his post. And we're gonna do this for both of the doors, and after we unlock both these front doors, and we deal with the guard that comes to investigate, all we need to do next is just grab all the beakers from the doors that we unlocked from this side. Once we have all the beakers from the first side, we should have 7 in total, and what I recommend doing is actually changing them from blue beakers to pink right away. Now while we're waiting for the first 2, what we're gonna do is go back to our truck through the front door to grab 2 bags so we can carry them later. So once we get back to the truck, we can do the 1 bag method, and then we're gonna re-enter the building through the front door. Now be very careful of that guard from earlier, he's on the right over there, so make sure that he's not watching while you re-enter the building. So once we change these 7 beakers from blue to pink, our next step is to grab the last 2 beakers. So what we're going to do is go to the main hall, grab our drill, and we're going to drill open this middle door first. Now what we're going to do is wait for this guard to pass by, sneak in right behind him, drill open this other door, and as we're drilling open this other door, it should probably alert the other guard. So what we're going to do is take out this guard, grab our drill, and go down here and unlock this door as fast as we can. After we unlock this door, we have about 15 seconds before the cops get alerted. So what we're going to do is grab the last 2 beakers, throw them into the laboratory, and then we're going to throw them into the centrifuge to turn them from blue to pink. Next, what we're going to do is grab our other duffel bag, and after they turn to pink, we're going to throw them into our other duffel bag, and then we're going to put all the loot into 1 duffel bag. So simply what we're going to do is grab the first bag like normal, hit escape, let go of left click, hit escape again, grab the next bag, and then what we're gonna do is come over here, vault over this table, and all the beakers should go into one bag. Just to make sure, you can see that this bag is empty, and there should be 9 vials in total in this bag. So now all we're gonna do is go out the front door and head back to the truck, and then we can end the heist. And once we get back to the truck, our total take is $174,000, and this was the advanced method of how to loot the Rodman Research Facility Loud Guide. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to help the channel grow. If you want to see a funny video, click the video on the left. If you want to see more guide videos, click the video on the right. And like always, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.